What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and Sacramento Kings. And of course, if you watched any video like this in the past or listen to any video like this, you know that this video is my Bulls report. Now, tonight was the final game of the Bulls road swing. And, you know, up until this point, you know, it's been bumpy a little bit, you know, coming off two previous losses versus the Phoenix Suns and Golden State Warriors. And of course, you just want to see the Bulls bounce back and look like themselves, you know, get back into the flow of things before they go home for a few days before their next game. And at basically the bottom or one of the bottom teams of the East, you want to see the Bulls, you know, just get back to what they do best. And I believe tonight was a perfect opportunity because you play a team like the Kings, who are one of the upper, you know, not the upper echelon of the West, but a team that's looking better than they have in a few years. So with guys like De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter, you expect the Bulls to come out and be geared up and ready to play. And that's what it was early. So in the beginning of the game, Zach LaVine did score the first bucket of the game, and he looked really, really good early. I mean, looked aggressive, looked like he wanted to take the game to the defenders that was guarding him. And he did that early. We seen a resurgence of Patrick Williams in the starting lineup, which is good, which is always a good thing to see. A lot of people said he did get demoted after last game, but because of Javonte Green not playing, Patrick Williams was inserted to the starting lineup with Alex Caruso tonight. And the threes, listen, that was one thing that hurt the Bulls tonight early. You know, you've seen a lot of threes from guys getting open shots, whether it was Sabonis, whether it was Malik Monk, whether it was Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes. Guys were getting open shots. And the one thing about the first quarter that stuck out to me the most was it was a free-flowing game in the beginning. The referees wasn't blowing the whistle early. They were allowing guys to just play. And that let me know, like, okay, the tempo of the game could go either way. It could go in the sense of for Chicago, or it can go in the sense for the Kings. But I felt like the flow of the game, it didn't lean one way or the other early on in the half. So I can say that for the referees. Kudos to them for that early on. But again, Vooch outside. He was working on the three early, which was a good sign. And the Bulls went up 7 early. So I'm thinking, okay, up 7. This is where, you know, we put all those woes and those rumors and everything behind us. We playing together. We're looking good early. One spot that stuck out to me early was DeMar DeRozan wasn't asserting himself early on in this basketball game, but I'll actually get into that a little bit later on. Now, the Bulls defense started getting lax at the end of the quarter, which I didn't like to see. You know, when Billy decided to go to the bench, a lot of things started getting a little topsy-turvy. But again, even still, the Bulls, they found themselves down. The Kings did go on a 15-7 run, but the Bulls were down 2 at the end of the first, which was good to see. Now, in the second quarter, this is where the woes started happening. The Bulls gave up 3 turnovers to start the second quarter, and they were down 7. Calls started not going their way. The Kings did go on a 12-2 run in the second. Then the Bulls, it basically snowballed. The Bulls were down 15 at that point. Perimeter defense was a problem. It just didn't look good for the Bulls. At times, you know, you seeing Vucevic not getting the ball and not getting touches. And if he is getting touches, going against Sabonis is just not in position for him to actually score. You're looking at guys come off the bench like Kobe White, and it just didn't look like he was in the flow. Ayo did play really good defense tonight. I'll give kudos to that. Patrick Williams' game tonight was touch and go. So it was a rough first half for Chicago. I'll definitely say rough first half for Chicago. But Zach did have 17 in the first half. But the Bulls ultimately were down 62-47 at the half. And That's when I'm asking myself. I was sitting there asking myself. I'm like, okay, if this continues to go on, the Bulls will end up losing this game by 25. That's basically what I said to myself. And to start the second half, the Bulls did get the deficit down to 4. Now, in the second half, when the Bulls did get the lead down, I'm like, okay, this is how they're supposed to be playing. You started seeing DeMar DeRozan being engaged. You started seeing the defense, but the key component to this game tonight was Malik Monk and the Sacramento Kings bench, especially points in the paint. I felt like the Bulls did not have it, especially when they went to guys like Drummond and guys like Derrick Jones Jr. It just looked like the points in the paint were just dominated by the Kings the entire second half and entire game, and the Bulls just didn't have enough as far as bench production to compete that way. I mean, when you look at the numbers and you look at what the Bulls were able to do as far as, points in the paint, bench points, and going both ways, the Bulls ultimately allowed the Kings to score a bulk of their points in the painted area. Let's talk about tonight. 3-point percentage. The Kings only shot 30% from 3. They shot 46% from the field, but they were able to get 46 rebounds to the Bulls 39. But the Kings turned the ball over 19 times to the Bulls 16. The Bulls, in my opinion, had opportunities to win tonight's game. They had an opportunity to win tonight's game. It was there. When they got the lead, when they got the deficit all the way down to 1 at some point, they had a chance. Malik Monk was the highest scorer for the Kings with 20, and Zach LaVine did pour in 41. He did have to shoot the ball 28 times. Now, DeMar DeRozan was not, I'm not going to say nowhere to be found tonight, but it wasn't his usual. He shot 6 of 18, wasn't getting a lot of calls. He did score 18 points. Vucevic 12 and 6. Like I said, Zach LaVine 41, 8 rebounds, 3 of 9 from 3. Patrick Williams had 10 and 5 rebounds. Derrick Jones Jr. 3 and 4 rebounds. Ayo Dosunmu 6 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. Kobe White, he hit 1 3, but did have 7 points, 4 rebounds. Derrick Jones Jr. Andre Drummond 2 points, 1 rebound. Like I said, high man for the Kings was Malik Monk with 20. Harrison Barnes did give them 17. De'Aaron Fox 16. Sabonis only had 11, but did have a triple-double with 17 points and 10 assists. 17 rebounds, 11 points and 10 assists. And ultimately, the Bulls did lose tonight, 110-101. And that was the Bulls' 3rd loss in a row. So on the road trip, they did end up only going 2-3. So that's under 500. That's another loss on the Bulls record. And honestly, at 9-14, with the Bulls coming up and playing the Wizards in their next game, which will be Wednesday, they're looking for answers. They are looking for answers. I'm going to say it again. The Bulls are looking for answers. Now I'm going to repeat what I said in the last video and say Vucevic needs more paint touches. But to get those paint touches, the Bulls need a better playmaker and facilitator. I don't know who or what that's going to look like in the upcoming future. I don't know what this Chicago Bulls team is going to look like in the future because, now with the rumors swirling, who knows what the Bulls is going to look like, what the Bulls are going to look like in the future. Who will be, on the floor, because if Zach LaVine has to shoot the ball 28 times just to keep you in the game, that's not going to give you the best recipe to win. If DeMar DeRozan can't give you 20 to 25, that's not a good recipe. Vucevic has to do better. He has to get better paint touches. And I'm at a loss after this game because I felt like the Bulls could have won this game versus. Excuse me, I said the Bulls went 2-3. So they lost to OKC. They lost to Phoenix. And they lost to Golden State. Yeah, they lost to Phoenix, OKC, Golden State, and now Sacramento. So on this road trip, they did end up going 2-4. It's disappointing because the Bulls have the personnel to compete. And last year was different around this time in the season. Personnel was different. So looking at record-wise, looking at things that need to change, looking at who's out there and who's not producing or what could be better, you got to put all that behind you. You know, we can't change what the outcome was from tonight's game. You only can move forward and do better in the next outing. Which ultimately, I feel like the Bulls have an opportunity to get a W. You know, go on a proverbial, some type of win streak. At least get the next one and see what happens. Can we turn this thing around? It's still early. But to quote the great Yogi Berra, it gets early late. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below tonight's game. Kings fan, Chicago Bulls fan, or if you're just a general NBA fan, let me know what you thought about tonight's game in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.